Hello, and welcome to this episode of Demystified as we explore home cooking in a modern world. I'm Linda, and I'm here with my friend Paul. Hi, Paul.
Hello, Linda.
How are you?
I'm alright.
Well, you actually look a bit frazzled today. You've been very busy cooking.
Yeah. I've actually been doing training.
Oh.
Yes. Not hosting training, but doing training. Topics that I never thought that I would explore, but that's part of my job.
Part of life.
Part of life.
Keeps things interesting when you keep
Yeah,
learning.
well, look, I mean, I don't think I'll be entering into compliance law anytime soon, but nonetheless, I learnt what I needed to learn, I think. So.
But you have been doing a fair bit of cooking, but mainly outside.
Yeah, this week was another outside 6 o'clock in the morning, turning on the barbecue week. So, but no, it's good. I mean, it's fine. It keeps it up vibe and interesting, as they say. Keeps it different. And the treacle tart ingredients are still sitting there waiting to be put together.
I did notice that I walked past the other day. I thought, oh, they haven't really moved much.
Yeah, they have. I got to the stage where they're all
busy.
weighed out. I just haven't put it together, but that will occur. Not today.
No,
It's now Friday afternoon. So.
And how was your lamb? Did you make the
did
lamb?
actually.
Oh.
I did use the lamb, but I didn't do what I was intending to do with it at all.
Wow.
So I ended up having a little bit of time at home by myself, which is a rarity. Yes.
What?
And I wanted to do a few other different things. So I did a very slow cooked lamb. So I just basically, I had a few bits and pieces sort of floating around in the fridge. One of them being a really super fine, and I usually wouldn't do this, and it was only through sheer laziness that I did it. But I had some salsa verde there, which I actually had blended. So usually I wouldn't blend it. It'd be something that I would have chopped, like not rough chopped, but chopped, hand chopped, rather than blended, because I don't like those things blended, like a salsa verde or a chimichurri, or I don't think blending them works. So I had a bit of salsa verde left over, and I was sort of looking at this lamb shoulder going, oh, what am I going to do? Do I bone it out? Do I mess around? And in the end, all I did was I just scored the surface of it and then rubbed copious amounts of salsa verde over it and stuck it in the oven at 140 degrees and just let it go for about 6.5 hours.
6.5 hours? What time? Wow, okay.
It was about 130 degrees, I think.
Okay.
130, 140, I can't remember. But yeah, I put it in at, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I just chucked it in the oven because I wanted to do other stuff. I just chucked it in the oven and let it go. It was delicious. Properly good. Really good. Yeah. So, it's lazy man's cooking, but it was really, really good.
This again defines the difference between you and I.
Yeah.
I have never stood there looking at a piece of leg of lamb and thought, will I bone it out or will I just look at it and think, right, you into the oven, buddy.
Yeah.
I would never bone it out. Wow.
Yeah, but I quite enjoy doing that sort of
yes,
stuff.
You have the skills. I would just cut off my thumb, I reckon.
Yeah.
So maybe you could do a tutorial on that because that would be interesting.
How to bone out a shoulder.
Well, I know you look at me like, oh, Linda, but to some of us...
Yeah, it's hard to film too. So that's the other thing. Because I just don't get any assistance from anyone within the cooking with steam business. Filming goes.
I'm looking away at this point. I would hold a camera. I would put one there.
Yeah.
And
I can put one there on a tripod. That's not a problem. But I find it difficult to get the right angles because quite often, and this is the funny thing actually about when people do take on those roles, as in the roles of like filleting a fish or boning out a chicken or whatever. The funny thing is a lot of people, when they're doing it, and maybe this is something that people can be a little bit more conscious of when they are doing it, is they move themselves around the item. So you start at one spot on your chopping board, and then you tend to move yourself to the right side or the left side to get underneath it. And what you should actually be doing is moving the item.
Yes.
So there's a lot of flipping, turning, rotating, moving, and to get it on video or film where it makes sense, I'm not a videographer, so it's not something that comes easy to me. So yes, we can do it, but seeing it up close and explaining it properly is another.
I think we need to talk to the Cooking with Steam set designer.
Who's that?
You.
Yeah.
And we looked at this in the last version of the Cooking with Steam kitchen, and that was about getting a overhead.
Yeah, but even then,
it's
yeah.
A lot of chefs on telly do it. They have
that's
overheady
true. Yeah.
For those sort of flipping, turning sort of.
Well, I mean, we could do that. We've got the cameras, so it'd be just.
You had the skills. You
setting
could
up
anything.
Jig and stuff like that. Yeah, we could do it. Yeah, we could try
we could get so you don't want me, because I would just go for a drone, stick a GoPro attached to it and have it hovering above you.
Well,
and
that'd be fun.
That's why you don't ask me to do anything.
But you see, the other side of it is there's probably a lot better butchers out there that could explain it and the whys and hows better than I could, which is why I not avoid doing that stuff, but I just, I kind of think, well, there's professionals that do that.
So we should go across to the market and grab someone.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd set of knives. It's hard to get them to talk though.
Yeah.
It is hard to get people who don't normally talk to talk about what they do.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? Put a microphone in front of them and they just clam up.
Shut down, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd take anyone on in a fish filleting challenge. There's that I could do with my eyes closed. But butchery, well, yes, I can do it. I'm nowhere near as efficient as what a butcher is. But sometimes that's good, because maybe it's good to be a bit slower.
Yes, and more like a home cook.
Yeah.
With the same sort of...
Yeah, and I mean, we did do, when I was an apprentice, we did do, butchery. I've done,
Oh, yes, you have. You've pulled down a whole...
Broken down whole lambs and stuff like that. Yeah. So, look, if it's something that people are interested in, if they want to know about
I'm interested in it.
Yeah, I know, but you're not the only person around here, really.
I am the most important. No,
I know.
Okay. No, I'm not saying. I know. I say
but what I am going to do, just to give you a bit of an update, a few things I'm going to return back to doing a few more standalone steam recipes. I've got a few floating around in my head with a few different ingredients that I might not generally use often. Nothing that is too out of this world. But yeah, I went for a bit of a wander over the market very early this morning and just had a sort of look around, especially around the fish sections. And I want to start using some different fish and some whole fish and maybe boning them out differently and preparing them differently, and just dive a little bit more into the standalone steam cooking, as well as do a few more desserts. For not baked desserts, steamed desserts. So I've been, sort of putting my mind to that recently. So that'll all come. It's just been a matter of time recently. I've still got videos to edit and photos to put up and all sorts of stuff. So there'll be plenty of stuff coming. But yeah, a little bit more in the just steam cooking section, because I've been doing quite a bit of combination stuff lately. Getting nice crispy fillet pastry and all that's great, but I still think the standalone steam stuff is potentially more interesting. I think it's more interesting.
Well, I think it's also where
less
cooking with steam is probably the best forum for that, because you know steam cooking really well, and a lot of other recipes, combi steam is one thing, but just steam only is where people tend to come to us, I think, more for when you look at our stats initially.
Yeah.
Because they're not sure how to cook fish or anything on steam only.
Yeah.
And if you've bought one of the steam only ovens, you really do need more steam only info. Yeah. And like I did originally back in the day.
But yeah, that's what we'll do. And what did you say before? Oh yeah, we've now passed a milestone, which is a bit weird, really. That's
100.
I don't know. So we've done now 100
just
podcasts.
Over 100, yes, 100 podcasts. So this will be 102, I think.
Yeah, so that's quite extraordinary. I didn't even believe that we could have that much to talk about when we first started.
No, I know.
And we really don't. Let's be honest. We just rabbit on with bollocks. But anyway,
but
we've got there.
here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
All these years later, just shows that a little combi steam oven.
Oh, well, look, we don't only discuss that.
No, but it is just...
Well, cooking's a never-ending topic.
That's right.
Really.
Well, the recipe that I'm going to discuss next time we talk about my favourites, to give you a challenge, doesn't actually involve any cooking.
Ah, what is it?
It's a dessert that I use, like...
Well, just tell us. Like, what's the secret?
Well, there's no secret to it. It's just...
Don't give me the recipe. What is the dish?
Well, we call it boogoo.
Oh my God, righto.
Which was nicknamed by Greg when we were university students after
This
parties.
is already sounding bad. Go on, what's in it? What is it?
It's a simple dish of yogurt, cream, chocolate, marshmallows.
Wow, that sounds terrible.
Which is why it's great for kids, because it's easy for all ages kids, you know, how they want to help.
Yeah.
And at various stages they can stir, or they can help with the marshmallows, whether it's cutting them in half or putting them in and giving it a stir, or grating the chocolate and eating the bits that don't get grated. They love that. And sometimes if we're being fancy, we put in some fresh fruit, but most times it's just those ingredients. And kids...
So it's almost like a liquefied Rocky Road.
Yeah, and...
That sounds
it's one
terrible.
of those... You've got to have it to believe it. And I thought, well, I wonder what you could do with this.
Well, I'm big on yogurt at the moment. I'm eating a lot of yogurt. I quite like yogurt, and I'm buying a lot of different yogurt. I do make my own as well, but yeah, I'm quite into yogurt and doing yogurt based things at the moment. I'm doing yogurt based marinades and things like that, which I find interesting to cook with and also use as a tenderizing agent and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, look, I don't know if I agree with the name. How did the name come about?
Greg, after a big session, one party night in the morning, he got up and had it for breakfast and called it boogoo, and we've stuck with us ever since. And we've been making it since we were teenagers.
Yeah, it just sounds bad.
Well, yeah, but it's every time I make it, like for family stuff or Greg's family and gatherings, everyone always ends up having a bowl of it, and you think, what? Why am I enjoying this? But it's one of those things that with yogurt, I tend to use strawberry yogurt, but you can use
it's flavoured yogurt too.
Flavoured yogurt.
Oh,
so strawberry, it's a little bit sweet, but at the end of the night, or for kids, and as I said, over the years, all the kids have helped make it at some point. And
it just
because it's easy for kids.
Just in my mind's eye, it just like looks and sounds
flavoured
terrible.
Yogurt, cream,
yeah,
marshmallows, grated chocolate.
Okay, I look.
Not too much grated chocolate because it would be overwhelming, but grated chocolate on top.
Yeah, I'm. While I'm intrigued, I'm not committing to doing this at all. I find it a little bit offensive, to be honest with you.
Well, there's no cooking in it.
But we could make it.
You would change it.
We could make it so there's cooking in it because we could make the marshmallow.
I was going to say you would also do something, because I know how you love deconstructing certain types of desserts and presenting it in a different way.
Well, no, deconstructed not so much. Deconstructing the method and technique, yes.
Okay, well, there's no technique in this.
Yeah. So. Is it fitted into a pot and
just
stir it?
Yep, that's it. That's why it's good for kids. And it's good when you...
Yeah, I mean, like, good for kids, okay.
It's good for big gatherings, so I can take a dollop of it and put it with things, but...
I just think that for the amount of effort, like... I think for the same amount of effort, you can do something way better. But anyway, like, okay.
All right, then.
Well, look, let's give it a go.
There's a challenge.
4
ingredients.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I will not do this until there is photo evidence on our Instagram and Facebook page of an example.
Okay.
So you have to make it and take a photo of it.
I'll make it and bring it in here.
No, you can take a photo of it. I'll put it up on social media, but you have to take a photo of it. And we might do a little straw poll amongst people. Should we make this again? And we have to tell people what's in it. No.
I'm happy to provide the recipe. Okay.
These are the rules.
Happy to do that. Challenge accepted.
Yeah,
but You think of a recipe that kids can help with. Really simple ingredients that everyone can access, and it takes minutes, so you don't have huge mess all around the kitchen, because normally when I've tried baking with kids or anything with kids, it ends up up the walls, on the floor, all over the place.
Maybe it's not the kids, maybe it's the teacher.
It possibly could, it could well be that. I give you that.
Because we
I
make
know.
muffins and...
I know you do.
Like my little fella, we did souffles not that long ago. He knows how to make creme brulees, scrambled eggs. So, you know.
Yes. I'm just
Creme brulee is
saying,
an easily accessible, easily done dessert. Yes, it takes a little bit longer than mixing some
I'm just
marshmallow and
saying,
yogurt together.
come up with something that kids can make easily in a household, 4 ingredients.
Okay. Maybe I'll take that on as a challenge. 4 ingredients, quick,
Kid friendly.
kid friendly. Okay. Yeah.
Most kids, not the gourmet
No.
child that you have.
He's not a gourmet child
He
at all.
is. He eats croissants. He eats better than, certainly I would say, we do. He has a very broad palate and he eats very
I wouldn't
well.
say it's that broad, but he certainly does he likes nice ingredients.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder where he gets that from, Paul.
Oh, well, a little bit of ingredient snobbery doesn't hurt
No,
anyone.
but I'm just saying, for the average family that's got short time, kids, maybe something coming up.
You see, maybe a few more, and you could twist the recipe so it might be a little bit more kid-friendly, and there may well be a few more ingredients involved, but something that, because essentially all you're doing is putting a bunch of stuff together and constructing it, right? So you're not actually cooking. True?
No.
True?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tiramisu.
Make it-
silence.
No, I'm thinking, really? Okay.
So you buy the sponge fingers,
Okay.
okay? You soak them, kid-friendly. You mix some mascarpone with some sugar and ricotta or whatever you do for your tiramisu. You dust over some cocoa. Stick it in the fridge for a little bit. Not many ingredients. Kid-friendly, simple to make, delicious to eat. You bloody boo-goo's going down the toilet now, isn't it?
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
probably-
actually one we should do.
that's
Actually,
actually
is
a good,
sponge fingers. There's a
Okay.
skill to making good sponge fingers. So
Alrighty.
we might do that and then we'll build a tiramisu out of it, because that's one thing I do love. Good tiramisu. Ooh,
Oh, really?
it's properly delicious. Yeah, a nice light, fluffy tiramisu. Sometimes they're often a bit too heavy, and can be a bit too trifle, a little bit too alcoholic,
Yeah.
a little bit too coffee heavy. Sort of fine balance with tiramisu, but I do love a good tiramisu.
Well, there you are.
So there's another. I need to start formulating a list so I don't forget these things. But we'll do sponge fingers as a recipe, and then we might do construction of the tiramisu just as an add-on. But this booger,
Boo-goo.
yeah, okay.
Well, you haven't tried
No,
it.
I'm
just
not
saying.
knocking it.
Well,
just.
You are.
Well, I am.
You
yes.
are actually scoffing at it, but that's all right.
Yeah, that's
I've
fine.
been making it since we were teenagers. It's a...
I'll shut you down pretty quick with my tiramisu argument,
Yeah,
because you
you
can't
did.
argue. You can't argue with
Well,
it.
I don't make it, so I don't
Yeah.
know that that's as easy, but I know how easy boo-goo is.
Yeah. All right.
And the final word about interesting names of cafes, driving along. Well, we tried, the other day we were talking about very good falafel, and
Yeah.
you had...
The car wash.
The car
so
wash.
I want to get the name right. Go on, you tell me.
This morning as I was driving along, I was reminded of another one as I drove past it, and it was a ramen store in Sydney Road. The message for their ramen is garbage people, very good ramen.
Yeah, I like that.
Which I thought, yeah, that is fantastic.
Yeah, that's
garbage
quite good.
people, very good ramen.
So the car wash that I mentioned the other day in our podcast, the name of it, which I can't even remember what I actually said at the time. I thought it was like very satisfactory or something like that. Car wash. It's actually called, and we'll give them a plug just because of the name, is the Rather Impressive Car Wash.
That's right.
It's not fully impressive.
It's
rather impressive. And I just, for some reason, it just like, I don't know, when I think about washing my car, I'm like, where should I go? Should I go to the Rather Impressive Car Wash, or should I just do it myself? Like, I don't know how you decide that that's the name for your car wash. But anyway.
It's a great name, a little bit understated.
Yeah.
And maybe I should have called it the Rather Impressive Boo-goo.
Well,
Or
would
maybe-
it make it any better? So this is the question, isn't it? So
Does a name make anything better?
Well, yeah, it does.
A name
Of course, it does.
for food.
No,
I think
in people's
I would have
mind,
probably
it
called
does.
it the very unimpressive Boogie, but
Well,
but
you're
we sort of-
selling it high, and now you.
I just said it's easy. I just said it wasn't easy for kids. 4 ingredients, and we've been making it since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
When we were poor, impoverished students studying at uni.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
just saying,
So
palates are different when you're 19.
absolutely. Yeah.
Palates are very different when you're 19, and you've been
You can eat
singing
anything.
and dancing and
Doing
drinking
whatever.
all night.
Yeah.
In the morning, Boogie looked great.
Ugh, God, I couldn't imagine anything worse right now. But
Oh,
anyway,
no, I would eat it right
it's
now.
not going to happen until you give me a photo
I will.
to put on social media.
But I don't make tiramisu, as I said, so I hadn't thought of that as being an easy equivalent for a family to knock up quickly, where kids can be involved.
Yes.
Well, there we are.
Anyway,
This is the rather impressive
Friday.
Friday from the kitchen sign off from Cooking with Steve.
Have a rather impressive weekend.
Yeah, I hope you. Well, garbage humans, but good weekend. So take care, Paul. Have a good weekend.
See
Bye,
you later.
everybody. Happy cooking. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this podcast as we explore home cooking in a modern world. We'd love you to subscribe, and for more information, please go to our website, cookingwithsteam.com.